So despite the many payment innovations we are seeing, deployment rarely goes as smoothly as planned. So how do we reconcile the pace of innovation with consumer readiness?
Well, most of the industry innovations right now are being driven by consumers. Consumers' usage of technology, in particular tablet computing and smartphone, means that most of the financial industry is responding to what consumers require. And in fact, it's not just consumers' requirements, but also their corporate customers, because most corporations deal with consumers. And so corporates are changing just as quickly in what they need from treasury operations and from other services from banks. So the whole industry is being driven from this end user view of technology.
Okay. So looking at the big picture, what do you foresee the three trends that will change the payments landscape in the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, most of the big changes will still come from the mobile focus in terms of what people are doing with smartphones. Having said that, that's very short term. It's not going to be a long-term focal point, because very soon we'll move into the Internet of Things, where everything will be wirelessly communicating with everything else, from fridges to cars to phones to jewellery. And at that point you'll be transacting wirelessly literally as you walk around the high street, the main street. So very quickly we'll move from this focus on mobile to the focus on how you enable transactions through wireless communications.
Right. So what innovations does the industry need, in your own opinion?
What innovations does the industry need?
Yeah, like where should payments innovation focus? Say the transaction itself or the value exchange around it? Yeah.
Okay. In terms of where the industry should focus for the future, right now most of the financial institutions that I deal with talk about transaction banking. So they're focused on the transaction exchange between the corporate and the customer, or between the government or business and the customer. And that is a transactional volume focus rather than a value focus. When I say value, I don't mean value as in money, but value as in what does it mean to the customer to do that transaction? What are they transacting for? What are they trying to achieve in making that process, that payment? So over time, we will move much more into how you exchange values and items of value that might not be money, but they might be data, or that might be something to do with loyalty or other points and processes around the value exchange between corporates and customers. That will be a major change shift, because it will be an information enrichment, a big data leverage, rather than just a straight transaction leverage.
Okay, so the mobile payments marketing is huge, with operators, banks, on-banks competing for a piece of the pie. So who do you think will emerge dominant in this space?
Who will dominate the mobile and wireless communications transaction space in the future is an interesting question, because right now there's fundamental shifts between the banks, the mobile operators, the handset manufacturers, the distributors of services via telecommunications, and overall there's no one dominant player. In fact, what's happening is there's lots of partnerships, but partnerships are very difficult, particularly for banks, because they haven't traditionally partnered, they've done everything themselves. Who will dominate in the future? I don't think there will be one dominating force. I think it'll be a mixture of different service providers, from a Google for the data analysis to a Citibank or another for the actual delivery of the financial transaction. It'll be a whole group of companies who deliver services to corporates and customers, not just one company.
Right. Okay, so is this your first time to the conference?
Say again?
Is this the first time to your conference? Conference?
It's my first time to visit the Terrapin Cards and Payments Conference, even though it's the 18th conference, although I have been aware of it and I've known quite a few of your previous keynote speakers, so delighted to be here this year as your opening plenary.
Right, so what spurred you to this event?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, really?
Well, no, I mean, I'm at this event mainly because I do quite a number of services around the Middle East and Asia. And I normally would come to Asia at least once a year, although having said that, more recently it's been 3 or 4 times a year because of the vibrant economy across particularly South Asia, but also China, obviously. So I'm coming to Asia more and more often.